time for the good news of the day. J.D. Sharp's Trump. I'm not going to call it a rant. It's Trump's good news of the day, brought to you by J.D., but it's also sponsored by Cashola.io. The good news of the day, did you know you can get paid just by watching and clicking on ads? Hey, that's also good news. So go to Cashola.io where you can get paid to play. It's also funny because right before we started this segment, we knew we were going to play that music. But our producer, because he's very savvy, he comes in here holding a huge American flag, and he walks into the studio and he says to JD, will this help you? Is this patriotic enough for you? Do you need a Bible? Actually, it is very patriotic. Actually,
you take vitamins?
The funny thing is that this flag is about twice the size of our producer. So it was a little weird as he walked in with it. But, JD, you have the American flag, which is right next to you. Are you ready for the J.D. Sharp, Donald Trump positive good news of the day?
Yeah, and there's also Mike Lindell behind me, which is very exciting.
There we go.
By the way, Mike Lindell is about to file a lawsuit against Anderson Cooper for his hit piece interview that he did. But so my good news of the day is that I am very confident that Donald Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and here's why. Donald Trump is the first president in quite a few presidents to not enter any new wars. He has made conscious efforts to remove troops from current and past wars. Like, for example, the troops in Afghanistan are dropping from 5,200 down to 300. He has been actively involved in negotiating the peace agreement between Israel and the UAE, as well as an economic relations agreement between Kosovo and Serbia. And the person who nominated him for the Nobel Peace Prize, who is part of I believe it's called the Right Party, the right-wing party of Norway, also said that Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize for doing absolutely nothing. So I believe that Donald Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. In addition to this is also very patriotic, but there's something called the 1619 Project. And it has been an effort to indoctrinate students nationwide. It was going to be put into the curriculum. It was a New York Times article that came out, I believe, last year. I don't know exactly what the writer's name was, but that article, the idea behind the 1619 Project is that the entire United States, since slavery in the United States started in 1619, there were 20 slaves that were brought to the United States in 1619. But the idea is that the entire United States, the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War was, and this 1619 Project teaches this, but that it was based on the fact one of the primary reasons behind that particular war was because the United States wanted to preserve slavery and it was not to break away from England. And that Donald Trump is actively going after that, and he's not going to give schools any funding that are attempting to replace the curriculum with the 1619 Project, which really what it does is it makes a conscious effort to invalidate the Declaration of Independence and Independence Day in the United States. So Donald Trump, I believe, has what it takes to win the Nobel Peace Prize, and I believe it's very good news that he is going after the 1619 Project from being taught to all of our students nationwide.
Is that it?
That is it.
I was hoping for a little more than that, a little more positive news. But all right, fair enough. If that's it. That's fine.
Was that 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean that's gosh, I thought you'd last longer than that. That's what a lot of my dates tell me. But
well, it's usually 2 to 3 minutes.
What, the sex you have?
No, the segment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can go 5.
Sex or what are you talking about?
Sex.
Oh, you are talking about sex. Okay. All right.
No, the segment. I can go. Usually it'll be 2 to 3.
Deviant, Brian.
I'm not a sexual deviant. That's not true. I love women. I'm not a sexual deviant. It's not true. It's very offensive when people say that. Yeah, I'm at the point now where there's nothing positive I will ever say about this man because I think he's a horrible human being. You're entitled to, every day say positive things about Donald Trump. That's fine.
So you have nothing positive to say about the fact that he has, and I didn't mention this, but he's also done a very good job of more or less stopping ISIS. He killed Khashoggi.
Okay, so let me respond.
We've avoided wars with Russia and North Korea, and you could say that is him being a lapdog to Putin. I just believe that's him knowing who would be a major threat and avoiding confrontation with those people.
You had your chance to be positive. Now it's
Now
it's my turn. First of all, he's a despicable human being, and I put that at the top of the list. He's an awful human being.
Then why is he not putting us in war?
Okay, so
why is he trying to take us out of war?
Right,
if he's such a bad person, why does he not want to watch the world burn?
I can't answer these questions if you don't let me talk. He's a despicable human being, and if you want to talk about war, we know the things he said about our troops. We know the things he said about John McCain. We know that. We also know
we know one thing he said about John McCain, Brian.
Okay. You got to let me finish.
Okay.
I didn't interrupt you. The Atlantic story comes out, and now he wants to bring troops home. Seems very suspicious there. We know what he said, and we know that the dodging of the military 4 times because of his bone spurs. We know his history. We know what he said, the things he said about our men and women in uniform. We know what he said about John McCain. We also know about the intelligence that was received, and we had Seth Moulton on, and we've had other Congress people on that have the information that believe it to be real and true. And we know that Donald Trump has done nothing about that. We also know that Donald Trump has had several discussions with Vladimir Putin over the course of the last several months, never brought that up once, the fact that Russia put a bounty on American troops. Never even brought it up with Vladimir Putin. We've also learned about this home that Donald Trump struggled to sell for a very long time, $42 million. All of a sudden, somebody from Russia pays him $90 million for it, speculated that it was Vladimir Putin. We also know about the love letters that were written back and forth between him and Kim Jong-un. In fact, we are dealing with a deadly virus.
He actually said, "I love you" to Kim Jong-un.
Yes, he said he had a love for him. Yes.
He said, I love you, Kim Jong-un.
I'm getting to that if you will let me.
The President of the United States sent Kim Jong-un a letter that said, "I love you" in it.
So Donald Trump, in a press conference, said it's a true love that they have for one another. That's what he said. And I also will bring this to your attention because I think it's important to know, what's on Donald Trump's mind. It's not the deadly pandemic that we're facing or the racial divide. He took time on Twitter today to talk about how resilient Kim Jong-un is. He said Kim Jong-un's health is fine, and he made him out to be a very resilient person. I think when we're talking about an evil, murderous dictator, you probably shouldn't say things like that. Now, in regards to saying positive things about the man, sure, I'm sure in anybody's presidency, I'm sure that you can find some positive things that they've done.
I mean, I'll do it every single day, Brian.
And you are
every single day, and you're gonna keep making effort. You're gonna say the same thing over and over and over as efforts to refute him, and you're going to not downplay, but just basically discredit what I'm saying because you don't disagree. But bottom line, the president has avoided war. is made, and this didn't just start a couple of years. He's been trying to get troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan and Germany for that matter for quite some time.
How has that worked? How has that worked? Where are we at right now as far as troops?
He's taken it down from 5,200 to 3,000. Okay.
And in 3.5 years, you think that's an accomplishment? You know what Barack Obama did in his presidency in 8 years? So you think it's a huge accomplishment bringing down the troops from 5,000 to 3,000? You think that's something to brag about? What has he done in 3.5 years?
I think a much larger accomplishment is the fact that he was part of negotiating a peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates.
I
brought up 4 different things, actually, Brian. I brought up 4 things in my segment, and now my segment has turned into you refuting because you hate the man. It's turned into now you being completely biased and refusing to accept the fact that he has done some positive things because you hate him personally.
So first of all, what I just said, because clearly you don't listen.
I listen intently, Brian. I'm not angry at all.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat what I just said again so you can understand it because I don't think you do. So I'll repeat it again. What I said was you can find any presidency and find some positive policy things that they've done. It doesn't mean I'm biased, and it doesn't take away from my opinion, and it's the opinion of many, including many Republicans that still support him, that he is a despicable human being. The way I think about people in Washington, I want to make sure that they are decent people, and he is a piece of garbage.
He isn't a piece of garbage,
okay.
Brian.
Well, if you don't think he's a good person, and you think it's okay to go after POWs, Gold Star families, immigrants, and women based on looks, and you don't have a problem with that, and you don't think he's a piece of garbage, that's fine. That's your opinion. But it is my opinion that he is. Okay, it is my opinion that he is, and I'm sure you can find some positives. I'm sure you can find some policy that does not take away from the fact that he is a despicable.
So, do you think he should win the Nobel Peace Prize for the things that I mentioned?
Way, I'm glad you brought that up. And I'll answer your question. So, Michael Cohen has done some interviews over the course of the last week, and we only have a couple minutes, then we got to go to break. And Michael Cohen said in his book, and he's not the only person that has stated this, that the only reason why Donald Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize is because Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize.
That makes no sense at all, Brian. Well, that has nothing to do with what he's done to deserve it.
You got to let me finish.
He just mentioned the fact he was nominated. He didn't nominate himself. Somebody else nominated him, Brian. So that doesn't make any sense. I'm asking you if you think he deserves it, if you think that he has earned it. I'm not asking you about Michael Cohen talking about how he wants it because Barack Obama won it for doing nothing.
Okay, first of all, Barack Obama didn't win it for doing nothing. That is a stupid statement you just made, and it's not factually accurate. That's number one. Number two, Donald Trump has been talking about the Nobel Peace Prize for 3 years, and many people close to him, including his sister, his niece, and Michael Cohen, who was his personal attorney for over 10 years. I'll take their opinion over yours, and they claim that he's been talking in his jealousy about Barack Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize and about how he wanted to one-up Barack Obama and win the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, to answer your question directly, absolutely and positively no. He does not deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. I will say that with a straight face to anybody.
Okay, then who does?
Who does?
Yeah.
Who does deserve the Nobel
who
Peace
deserves
Prize?
it? Yeah, worldwide.
If
It's not Donald Trump, who's in the process of most likely stabilizing the Middle East,
Sure.
who deserves it?
Sure. I would say people like John Lewis. I would say people like Martin Luther King Jr. I would say people out there that have actually changed the course of history for the better.
Martin Luther King Jr. has been dead for a long time.
Okay, you asked me a question, and I'm answering your question. I didn't know your prerequisite was they had to be alive.
Why? I think you're confusing the Nobel Peace Prize, which is a yearly prize, with the Lifetime Achievement Award,
I understand.
which I'm sure John Lewis will probably receive.
Okay,
and I would say that he does deserve
I'm trying to answer your question.
Based on his service for civil rights.
Well, Donald Trump didn't say that when it came to John Lewis. He didn't have an opinion.
I'm not the president of the United States, Brian.
But we're speaking about the president.
No, I'm asking you about. I'm saying if Trump doesn't win the Nobel Peace Prize, who deserves to win it? That's what I'm asking.
And I'm trying to answer you, and you're not allowing me to
because you said it so emphatically, as if there is someone else that's a shoo-in, that's a lock. But I don't think that you know one other person that could win it.
Well, I could tell you somebody that's been on this show, John Ponder. I think John Ponder has accomplished a lot more in the last decade than Donald Trump has.
You think John Ponder should win the Nobel Peace Prize?
What I just said is I would think that he would be more. And by the way, he's a Trump supporter. I would say he would be more deserving of it. I would say anybody out there that has served this country honorably, that have risked their life for this country, that is given, deserves more and deserves it more, certainly, than somebody like Donald Trump. Very simple.
And it's because you don't like Donald Trump the person. It's not because of what he's done to actually earn the Nobel. And he has earned the Nobel Peace Prize.
Sure. Okay. Well, I just answered your question. I completely disagree with you.
Right.
And I could name you plenty of people out there that are actually alive today that have, civil rights activists, people out there in the gay community that have done a lot for gay rights in this country, people that have actually changed people's lives because of their service to this country and this nation. The last person I would give this to is Donald Trump. Not the first person, the last person. There are plenty of other people out there, and I just wouldn't give it to him.